Hello, I'm Terry Phillips, and with me here is Doctor Number 2, Patrick Troughton. Patrick, welcome.
Hello, Terry. Hello.
I suppose we should begin by dispelling a myth that you hate doing interviews. Is that true?
No, it's not that I hate doing interviews, no, and it doesn't worry me at all. But being a character actor, it's a mistake for such an actor to promote their own personality too much, because it's counterproductive where their actual work is concerned. They've got to be a sort of nothing, you see, and only come to life where the viewers are concerned as a person in a story. And I think that was the reason, really. If you go on promoting yourself and so on, the audience get to know you too much instead of the people that you're trying to portray. Makes your job harder.
Well, we would like to get to know you a little bit better.
Oh, that's very nice.
When you were doing Doctor Who, there's already been a previous one. Was the program very popular at that time?
Yes, it was. Now, Billy had been doing it for 3 years by the time I was asked to do it. I think he was getting tired, and I don't think he was a particularly well man towards the end. He had sort of circulatory trouble or something like that. And I thought that perhaps the program was beginning to be played out a bit. I thought that the joke was beginning to be over. And I was astonished when they asked me to do it. And I thought, oh dear, no, you know, I mean, gosh, to recreate a character like that, it would probably only last about 6 weeks with me anyway, and it's just not worth doing.
And 3 years later?
23 years later, something like that. Yeah. Yeah.
But 3 years after you took it on, were you still astonished that the joke was still going on?
No, I don't think so by then, because it was, it had been very popular with me, luckily. It was with Billy too, but it was a lovely part. I loved doing it, and the family audience liked me very much in it, and so I regretted leaving very much. But again, it was, you can't stay in one job forever, being a character actor.
You pop in and out of a lot of places, oftentimes unknown, especially unknown to American audiences. Do you like that? Do you like being hidden and yet being there?
Do you mean a lot of parts or a lot of... Oh, yes. Oh, yes, I love it. I love the variety. I've always done wildly different parts. I started in the sort of classical vein with the Bristol Old Vic, and then the Robert Donat Company in London, and at the Mercury Theatre doing T.S. Eliot plays and all that. And I got a very good grounding and all that sort of thing. But then I got into television, which was the very early days, 1948. But it was all live, you know, terror. And I got a chance up there of playing every sort of part under the sun. Goodies, baddies, costume, modern, everything. And it was a small audience, about 300,000 in those days, only in London. Look at it now. Look at it now. And the directors tended to use you a lot, because once an actor had done television, they knew the ropes to a certain extent, and a director could rest easy in his mind that at least they'd done it and they knew roughly what was going to happen. They didn't have to tutor somebody else in a new medium, which was completely new. It was a cross between the theatre and film in a way which had never really been attempted before. And it, you know, you needed to do it in order to get relaxed in it. Not that one ever was relaxed in live television. I don't ever remember being relaxed in live television, really. But did 15 years of that.
Do you miss the live aspect?
No, no way, no. No, it's a bit amateur, really, because, you know, you get a camera in, you get a boom in, you actors dry up and have to cut, and then the vision mixer goes crazy upstairs because you don't know where he is, you know. No, it's a bit hit or miss. After all, it's a professional job, and you've got to produce a professional article. And so, although those days are wonderful fun, one was younger, one could cope with it all, it was a little bit hit or miss. But there was some tremendous stuff because, as you know, the adrenaline flows quite considerably when you're doing it like that.
What about the stage? You say you got your beginnings on the classical stage.
Well, I had a long history of being a character actor, playing every sort of part you could possibly imagine. Swashbuckling heroes, lots of Dickens. Oh, things like the dwarf Quilp in the old Curiosity Shop, which was a big success, I'm glad to say, and a part I look back on with great love and excitement. That sort of thing, and wild comedy and baddies I used to play. So I had a long experience of playing every sort of part. And this, as it turned out, was an opportunity to exercise the lighter side, the more mischievous side of my nature, which I grabbed with both hands. To begin with, I was thinking of playing him rather serious and tough, you know. It was very difficult. You see, following Billy, it had never been done before. The whole concept of the Doctor going on was totally new, and nobody knew whether the audience would accept that at all. I mean, it was quite a new idea. And so it was, one was jumping in at the deep end, and although one had carte blanche, you could do whatever you like with it, there had to be continuity. He had to be otherworldly. He comes from another planet. This was the most important thing. And so to begin with, I had all sorts of ideas, like playing a tough sea captain sort of thing, like some of the parts I used to play. Or then I thought, well, when this is all over, I'll have to go back to playing parts in television again, and people will know me as Doctor Who, so what I'll do is black out and put a turban on and big earrings and play it like Conrad Veidt, and that sort of thing. Then when I took it all off, nobody would know, you know, hopefully. But they stamped on that. Their powers that be, they thought it was a very bad idea. And then there was this lovely idea of Sidney Newman's to play him very light, like a sort of Chaplin-esque sort of character, although I hasten to add, without the skill of Mr. Chaplin. He was such a genius of a mime. But that's what Sidney Newman had in mind, and he kept on egging me on to do strange sort of wonderful things in the way of mime, which of course I was incapable of doing really, so I tried to do it all up there in my head. And it was a wonderful relief to play a sort of saucy part, you know, a bit of a bungler, or was he, you know, you don't know whether he's bungling or not, or whether he's got his tongue in his cheek, but he's got a real twinkle in his eye. It was a lovely part to live with for 3 years, because it was a happy part, and so one was happy. You can't avoid, you know, it rubbing off when you go home a bit. And I had this young family, and that was lovely too. That kept me in touch with my audience, which, although it was a family show, it was, well, 50% kids. And having kids of sort of, what, 5, 7, and 9, it was, it kept me in touch with the sort of thing that the audience wanted, which was nice.
What about your advice to people who want to go into the acting business? I mean, would you advise it to your children?
Yes, I did. Well, they wanted to, and I had a feeling they'd be good. But when I did it, my dad thought it'd be a good idea if I got my A-levels first. You have O-levels and A-levels in the country. Yeah, in school. And the A-levels are sort of the entry exams for university. And so he thought that would be a good idea to have that behind me in case I was no good, you know. And so I did that. And when both the boys wanted to do it, I said, well, you know, get your A-levels first, and then if it doesn't work out for you, you've got something to fall back on. You've got some sort of qualifications.
So you have two sons?
Which they did, yes. Well, I've got more than two sons, but they're these, the acting ones. David, who was, you saw in Doctor Who as King Peladon, and Michael, who hasn't been in Doctor Who, I don't think. Hint, hint. Yeah.
Now let's see, though, you were in the 3 Doctors, and
yes.
you were in the 5 Doctors.
Yes.
Will there be 6 Doctors that you'll return to again? Can you imagine doing that?
I hope there's going to be an 8 and 9 Doctors. Any luck? I should think so. I mean, new kids are being born all the time, aren't they? So there's no reason why it shouldn't go on forever. Really.
So you're looking forward to doing more?
Oh, yes, but not too often. I love doing it for the benefit of the American fans, because not working over here, as a general matter of course, you know, it doesn't type me, you see, and it doesn't inhibit what other parts I play over here. But back in England, it's a mistake for any character actor to become associated too much with one part, obviously. Otherwise, you know, you're stymied, aren't you?